1,000 QVC customers from across America since midnight last night have picked up the phone to purchase the only today's special value for the entire year from our friends at Cottage Farms. It's called Rainbow Magic. It is really a unique plant. It's referred to as Sedum.
Yes.
And what I want people to do is I want you to consider that it is the perfect replacement to mulch.
It is.
It is the problem solution plant that you grow in areas where other things struggle. If you have steep embankments, if you have rocky soil, it's a ground cover. But unlike most other ground covers, this gives you color all year long. Because right now in February, you're going to get different color of foliage. And then as we get into a little bit warmer time, you will have flowers everywhere. And I love that you're working with high-tech tools like scissors.
Well, you know what I love about this? This plant has so many great qualities on it. First of all, it's a sedum, which means it is nearly indestructible. You know how we said the daylilies were hard to kill?
Right.
Even harder to kill.
The dogs can run through this, the kids can run through
You
this.
can step on this,
Yep.
you can do whatever. It spreads, it goes nuts. It's one of my favorite plants. Doesn't require watering at all.
Beautiful.
Once you establish this plant, next year, you never have to water this plant again after you establish it.
So,
never.
Again, I've used the analogy, and you're the horticulturist, you're the expert, so please, if I'm wrong, correct me.
Okay,
But
I will.
Yeah, I know you will. But here in North America, we tend to use a lot of mulch.
We do.
If you live down south, like in the Carolinas, they use a lot of pine needles.
A lot of pine needles.
We decorate our gardens with death.
We do.
We shred trees and put dead wood down. This is living ground cover.
Yes, it is.
And it's the best investment. You did this for us last year. It was about the same
this
price.
Year, but this year it's bigger.
It's 50% more for what is actually a lower price.
And we've got more sedum in here. We got more types of sedum in here.
There's how many different varieties?
12. Last year was
6.
Yes, we've got 12 this year because what we wanted to do
Okay.
is we wanted to make sure that it was a rainbow carpet year round. So even without flowering, you look on here and you've got foliage and hues of gray, and there's some red and some yellows and some vibrant greens and olive greens. We wanted this to be a rainbow even if it wasn't blooming.
That's how it looks in February. Now, so that you understand, the tray that you're going to receive, the carpet that you're going to receive, actually becomes substantially more as the season progresses. And you'll have it next year, and you'll get more.
More
and the year
and
after
bigger
that, and you'll get
bigger.
more.
That's what sedums do. They grow bigger and they spread more and more. So this one size tray can triple by July.
Beautiful.
Triple by July, and then double the rest of the year after that. And then there'll be so much growth on this. It's a lot of fun. So let me show you what I was doing over here. So, you know, we like to play sometimes too in the garden. We like to have garden art. I think of these as almost as being like Lego blocks or like paint to play with.
All right.
So let's say we wanted to make this incredible pie. How much think we're gonna have to put in here for this dam?
Well, normally, I mean, if I were to go to a garden center, that'd be a little pricey.
That'd be very pricey. Well, just for one piece of this mat, look at here.
Right there.
Put one piece in this mat, and just because we're on TV, we don't have to do this.
Right.
I'm gonna add another piece right here.
Okay.
Look how much mat we have left. We have the whole mat over here left. Now this becomes that.
With color.
With color by summer. So by the 4th of July, it's gonna fill this entire pot out and have flowers and color.
On our farm, Kelly and I didn't know anything about sedum at all until you folks had told me a couple years ago. We do a lot of hardscaping. We've got a lot of rock where we live. And we had always put mulch down, and it was okay.
Yeah.
But now what you're able to do is to fill these cracks and crevices, areas where other things just will not grow.
Well, let's show them how hard it is. Let's show them how hard it is to plant in between the flagstone paper. You saw how hard it was to plant this. That was kind of hard, wasn't it? So all I want to do, if I want to plant the crevices, just kind of rough the soil up. This doesn't have to be soil. This could be gravel.
I can do that.
This could be gravel.
And this plant, that little guy that I put there, will be enough to grow 3 times its size.
3 times its size.
By halfway through the season.
I'm gonna fill this out just with a few I snipped off while we were chatting. Now, this will fill in this entire area this summer. It'll be completely full. And That's all you have to do.
That's all
you
you
sit
do.
them in, put that there, put a little water on them, and then watch them go. As simple as that. We can go look at a finished one whenever you want.
We'll show some photos. Let's go do a finished one.
Let's go do a finished one.
We'll show you some photos because I want to point out what you can anticipate and how these things will give you an opportunity to grow where you could never grow before.
So look at that. You're filling in cracks with so much color. It's not one type. It's
that's
12.
A vertical stone wall almost.
Isn't that amazing? You can grow these on a wall surface. This is how most people are going to use them. They're going to use them in a patio type area or inside flagstone. And you can see there that they just spill over the sides. And look at all the color. Now, look at that scene and take the sedum out. So boring.
I agree.
So boring.
I agree.
There, look at that bird feeder. Now it's got a green roof on it. You don't need much soil.
Nice
if you got just a little lip or something to hold it in.
That's the top. That's the roof of a shed.
That's the roof of a shed. My friend Steve Solo in Washington, D.C. did something very similar to this on his extension, and it's beautiful. He put in a bunch of sedums and put it down there, but he paid a fortune for it.
Okay.
But what we're doing is we're offering you this mat that's going to triple the size at a whole lot less of a price. So when you see those green roofs they're talking about, this is what they're talking about.
Well, last year we were able to do a today's special value, but it was 50% less in size.
Yes.
And it was actually more money.
And yes.
So you've increased the amount.
And increased.
Oh, look at that.
Look,
the
you
reef.
can play with it. Look how you can play with that.
Oh, wow.
You plant the reef with it flat, let it water it in, let it get nice and settled. Then you prop it up once it's rooted in properly. We'll show people how to do that. And then you can use them in outdoor
really
terrariums.
cool.
That's what I really like. I think the potential of it to work like a kid's terrarium outdoors would be really cool. But I wanted to step over and kind of show you.
Let's do it.
Kind of show you what we've created over here on the side. There's the same flagstone look that we're coming to right now.
This is why I fell in love with this plant.
This is it.
But the sedum that I used was all green.
Yes. See
what you've done is this is what it would look like right now in February underneath the snow. With all these different colors of foliage.
We wanted to make sure, once again, that it was a rainbow, even if it wasn't blooming. So when these start to come up and bloom, you're going to notice different textures, different shades of green, red, yellows, grays, blues, everything in there to give you that look right away that you've got a rainbow going on. And you can step on these. I mean, these are not shrinking violets. You can get in here and you can walk across these guys. They're just perfectly fine. So you put them in to give color and a full look. This looks like a professional did it.
So
but it did not.
With this one carpet, William, would it be enough to have done that big of an area?
You could do this area with half the carpet.
With half?
With half the carpet, and then you got another half to go play and hang things up on the wall and do all that cool stuff that you might want to do.
And then next year, this spreads out.
Yes.
And the year after and the year after. So you literally just don't run out of it. And it's manageable. It doesn't go crazy.
It does not.
But it certainly expands nicely.
It sure does. And find yourself on that map. We're actually going to send these out a little early. So find yourself on that map, look down. That's when we're going to send them to you. 2 reasons we're sending them early. One, they are super hardy. Sedums grow on the side of a mountain. So there's almost no climate in North America that's too cold for them. 2, they're dormant. This is dormant. I know this looks like it's growing and it's happy and all of that. This is a dormant mat of sedum right now. So when you get it, if you got time to plant it, put it out. But if it's snow on the ground or you're going on vacation, you can put this in the garage, leave it inside the shed for a few weeks, and then you come to it. We're shipping it to you dormant so you can play with it any way you want.
At $39.98, you're going to get that magic mat. And here's how they actually harvest sedum.
Yes. So every little leaf and stem of sedum can grow. So what you do is you want to collect all these different little leaves and notice how they place them into the tray, all the varieties together. They tuck them down to make sure that the stem is in there.
That's all
and
done
that's
by hand.
all it takes. It's all, and that's the cool thing. It's hand done. These things are watched over like babies.
So each one of these mats has over 300 plants in it.
300 plants, and it has well over a year of work poured into it. You know, we always keep saying that we want to try to do the work for you. So that's what we've done. We've put a lot of work into making this mat, so it's easy for you to go play and do things like create this.
Look at this.
Create this C that we got. We had an F too for Cottage Farms, but you know what? Let's just.
Somebody stole the F?
We'll keep the C for confidence. We'll keep the C for confident because we want people to be confident
we got you.
that they
We
can
got
do
it.
this.
I think we're going to find it. We're going to go off and say hello to Dorothy in New Jersey. Dorothy, good morning. You're ready
Good
for
morning.
spring in New Jersey, aren't you?
A little bit chilly and a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Hey, Dorothy.
Wonderful.
Good. I bought 2 flats of these. My
Okay.
question is, I have a slope, and I planted lily of the valleys on the slope. They have taken over everything,
Okay.
and they're horrible when they die off. They're beautiful
Yes,
when
they
they're
are.
blooming, but
They're
they're
awful.
horrible when they die.
Awful.
And I'm wondering, will the sedum take over them, or will the lily of the valleys kill them?
So it's going to be a pretty good battle. I'll tell you this: if you give it less water, because these
Right.
guys don't need water, then they're
Right.
going to come out on top. Because the lily of the valley
Okay.
needs a lot of water and things like that. So for my money, it's a lot easier to grow something where I don't have to tend it
I
and
would
care
agree.
for it as much. So you can add these 2. I mean, if you want to take the lily of the valley out, that's fine. But remember, lily of the valley is only around a short time when it gets hot and dry. So these guys are year-round, 12
Color.
months a year, color, doing their thing.
That's why I kind of like these, because I thought they'll take over what the lily of the valleys, how horrible they look when they die.
Yep, you're right.
There's a very good chance that'll happen. And when you said the word slope, the answer
Right.
became yes.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
these grow very well on embankments
Yep.
and areas where other plants are difficult.
Okay.
People are
Yes, they do.
using this in many ways to replace grass.
Yes. Because you don't have to do the
There's no maintenance.
There's no maintenance. There's no mowing. There's no
Yeah.
aerating. There's no seeding with this. So if you've got that slope, I'm glad you had some perennial there because it's a lot less maintenance. But this perennial is going to be a lot less maintenance than anything you could possibly put there. And so what we're trying to do with this is to get people to see how to play and enjoy with plants. This is the enjoyment of gardening here. Putting it out and looking at the beauty of it. And don't think these flowers are just for show. Butterflies come to these flowers.
Okay.
So you're going to get butterflies visiting and come in to sample the nectar as well.
And Dorothy,
Okay,
literally,
thank you for your help.
all you need is a pair of garden shears and a small hand rake. And that's
Yep.
all you'll need for your planting needs, okay?
Okay, I appreciate your help very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Let me explain to them again what they're going to get. This wonderful carpet. There's your F. I knew we had it around here somewhere. I knew it was there.
Did my F show up?
It did show up. You know what? That's funny. You sound like me in high school. Okay. This mat is 50% bigger than what we were able to offer last
Yes.
year as a Today's Special Value, which did extraordinarily well. It's the only Today's Special Value of the entire year from Cottage Farms. You're going to get 50% more plants at a better price. This mat is comprised of over 300 individual sedum plants, and they will grow virtually anywhere. I have an embankment where my pond is that I had grass on. It was such a steep slope that every time we cut it, it was dangerous.
Yep.
And I had asked the question, what am I going to do? And they said, you want to plant sedum? And I went, what's sedum? Because there's still a lot of us that had never heard of this type of a ground cover.
Yep.
The sedum that I planted 2 years ago was all green.
Yep.
Uh,
This is not.
and I like mine, but I love this.
Yes, and if you look,
Because you've got color all year round.
I want people to see that this becomes this. This mat of dormant sedum that looks great becomes this mat of flowering sedum, which looks fantastic. So we want people to know that this turns into this.
Most ground cover doesn't flower.
Most ground covers do not flower. This is going to flower fairly early and keep blooming all throughout the summer.
So let's talk problem solution.
there-
Sandy soil, yes?
Sedum is the solution for that.
Rocky soil?
Between pavers and rocky soil, sedum is a solution for that.
Lining a driveway or lining a garden pathway?
Also a solution, and if you want to decorate your bird
roof.
feeders or decorate your shed roof, that's an easy way to do it. Really good. And people, look at their containers. If you just want to put them in containers and let them spill out, that'll be fine too. Using them for projects. Once again, get kids involved. Do the garden projects, have fun with it. And they'll get to see the flowers, they'll get to see the textures and feel it, and the butterflies, and it can't hurt it. Because every bit they knock off, you can take it and plant it in the garden, and it'll grow too.
You've got to try this. Again, we use so much mulch in America. We tend to decorate with dead wood.
Yes, we
This
do.
is living, it's beautiful, it's magnificent. Thank you. We've had over 17,000 individuals who have picked it up already today. It's such a pleasure to work with you.
That was really nice.
Man, do you know your stuff. They are the experts. Please check out QVC.com for more information about our today's special value.